Oh shit. Stinky feet. Man, what's going on YouTube? We back with another video. And I say YouTube. Y'all not YouTube. Y'all my people. But let's get into this video, man. I don't even know what's about to happen.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake. When I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. And for this video, let's get right into it.
Right.
When it comes to killer rappers, a few names may come to mind. But just outside of Houston, Texas, a new killer would emerge into the spotlight with a smile.
Reign of terror. Now, documented gang leader Christian Cavazos will spend life in prison. He killed 5 people in 4...
Oh, damn. Y'all hear that? Boy, y'all... You know what's crazy? Niggas glorify this. Guys glorify this. But every time I hear it, man, all I hear is life prison, 25, charge. All I'm seeing is mug shots. Y'all glorify when y'all out running around. Yeah, I did this, I did that. But then, I hear stuff like this.
And pled guilty to it.
A judge sentenced him today after prosecutors showed some of these murders were captured on video.
When Cavazos drove by with other gang members shooting. Dozens and dozens of rounds.
Bro, I'm sorry to keep talking. Bro, what is up with the lives, bro? What is up with the lives, bro? These Instagram bro, you know what's crazy? When I look at the world probably different than a lot of people. Bro, the same thing I see, a police can see. We are making it so easy to tell on ourselves with this Instagram live be killing this boy.
Shamil McGowan's son Ryan was shot in his car in September 2019.
We're gonna watch the video now.
He kept hunting my son down like an animal.
What's the location of the emergency?
Everything on my side of my clip switching. These niggas don't stop clip switching. These niggas switch clips every week. We don't do no skipping, hit every street.
How can I help you? There is a lot of gunfire going on outside. Okay, how many shots have you heard? How many shots have we heard? Probably 20. Okay. More than 20.
You said what I did and I'm clapping the witness. Clap.
Y'all niggas gonna be in this house. Y'all niggas gonna be in this house with me.
Listen.
Don't catch somebody, you gonna be in this house with
bro, can you please let me talk?
Hey,
bro.
A rap beef would turn into a brutal killing spree, and in less than 4 months, a rival rapper was missing part of his skull, while 5 others were left dead.
Dang.
No one was spared. A 22-year-old cameraman died before his camera hit the ground. Grandparents were gunned down outside of their home, and the rapper's mother would even be arrested for allegedly using her old job to find her son's enemy's address so he could attack. The suburbs of Houston were being terrorized. The feds were being called in. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down the murderous history of Texas rapper Wedo 10K. Born in 2001, Christian Cavazos Jr. would grow up in the suburbs of Houston, primarily around Cypress and Jersey Village. With Mexican parents, he'd be nicknamed Wedo, a Spanish term for someone with fair skin. He'd play football for Campbell Middle School, and early photos would show he came from a large, middle-class family. Even those on Reddit would point out how it seemed he had a great childhood, and the fact that he was in a 2-story home, or how he and his sister had prescription glasses and she had braces. These were all signs of money, or at the very least, parents that cared. But things aren't always as they appear.
Then I got the drum. Then I got more clips. It's the 762 spur me.
Christian Cavajos Sr. would stand out in family photos, while Güero's mom didn't appear in any. His father's appearance and demeanor didn't match the rest of his family, and he never smiled. It's said both parents would remain in Güero's life, but the influence they had is unknown. As Güero reached his later teens, his appearance would drastically change. He'd attend Cypress Ridge High.
I got 100 rounds on me, can't trust me a soul. I watch my own back, that's all I got. You niggas ain't with me, you bitches ain't with me.
And multiple videos of Güero fighting would make their way online. It was clear Güero was nice with his hands, but the violence would quickly progress. 20 minutes from Jersey Village was another suburb named Greenspoint, just north of Houston. This was home to a rapper named Cash Out Ace. It isn't clear how or why things started, but when the match lit, the streets were on fire. Güero 10K was a member of a gang known as 10K, while Cash Out Ace was a member of Cash Out. And on September 6, 2019...
So I guess they cashing out 10K, huh?
The first body would drop.
So far, no one has been arrested. The shooter still on the loose. Detectives say pistols and a rifle were fired up and down this block. Evidence markers, crime scene tape, and a stolen SUV riddled with bullet holes. Evidence of the deadly shooting early this morning.
Somebody was screaming around here.
Tina lives close by. Her family heard the screams, gunshots, and called 911.
The shots fired, there were multiple shots fired. We haven't even started counting them yet. It was so many.
It's really sad and really feel bad about it.
Investigators say 2 young men were shot inside this SUV. One died on scene, the other fighting for their life in the hospital.
He received several gunshot wounds.
The crime scene expansive, stretching around a quarter of a mile, bullet casings everywhere. Investigators believe shots were fired between the SUV and a white sedan that sped away. However, detectives aren't sure who pulled the trigger first.
At this time, we don't know if they are suspects or victims.
Right now, authorities don't know the motive and have not identified the dead man, and they're asking anyone with information to come forward.
It was 4:52 in the morning when the homicide unit was made aware of a shooting on Winfern Road. Just outside of a gated community, 19-year-old Ryan McGowan lay dead in the back seat of a stolen SUV. Ryan was a member of Cash Out, known as Cash Out Spaz. He'd been shot in the back, the bullet exiting his chest.
Dang.
Officers would observe 223, 9mm, and 357 SIG shell casings trailing down the road. Officers would later learn that Spaz wasn't alone. He was with 2 friends, one of which was named Trenton Steele. They were all beefing with 10K, so they drove to 10K territory in a stolen SUV after learning a 10K member lived in a nearby apartment complex. While lurking in enemy territory, they were spotted by a dark-colored sedan that pulled up and opened fire, striking the driver of the SUV and causing him to crash.
Hey, bro.
Trent would pull out the driver as the two ran across the street, leaving Spaz in the back seat. That's when the dark-colored sedan returned as a man got out and opened fire on Spaz, killing him.
Dang.
But how did the officers learn all of this? Because Trent sat down with investigators and told them the whole story. So technically, Cash Out was the first to slide on 10K, failing the mission so...
Bro, yo, this is, yo, I don't understand this stuff. I don't understand this stuff, bro. Bro, these guys be running around here with these so-called members and they call them brothers, all this other stuff. And when they get jammed up in the mix of some stuff, like I said in my last video, bro, and I said this yesterday, like I said in my last video, once you get hit up against something, oh, no, I ain't signed up for that. I ain't signed up for that. Now you don't want to be a gangster no more? You signed up for this when you did the mess. Now they snitching on each other.
Bad. Not only did one member die, another member ratted. But it wasn't immediately clear who actually killed Spaz.
I can't do the street show.
Looking at his Instagram, Spaz's last post would read, "I done lost so many of my dogs, I swear this year for y'all." And less than 48 hours later,
he's gone.
His comments will be full of broken hearts. 3 days after Spaz's death, Cash Out Ace would drop a song called Ciabatta. In the chorus, he'd say,
"So I smoking pack while I'm fucking on Lilia. So I smoking pack while I'm fucking on Lilia."
Come to find out, Lily was Wedo's girl. This was the first time the beef between the two was being put into music, and Ace just made himself a target to one of Houston's top crashers. 19 days after Spaz was killed, 10K would strike. It was 1:30 in the morning when Harris County sheriffs received multiple calls for shots fired.
10K put in the direct deposit. And I guess Cash Out gotta cash it out.
Francitas Drive.
No.
This was Northwest Houston and Cash Out territory.
All right.
Deputies arrived finding a heartbreaking crime scene. 65-year-old Ramiro Reyes lay dead in the roadway, while his 63-year-old wife Rosalva sat dead in the passenger seat of a purple Charger.
Oh, come on now.
Their son-in-law would be found inside of the home alive with a gunshot to the hip. Investigators will learn the couple had spent the night at a hospital bedside as Rosalva's elderly mother passed away. They just made it home, still grieving and tired after such a long night. But instead of finding the comfort of their beds, they'd be met with gunfire. 3 months would pass. The innocent elderly couple's shooter was still unidentified, and nobody knew exactly why they were targeted. It was now December 27, 2019, just 2 days after Christmas, and Cash Out Ace was recording a music video in North Houston. It was 9:31 p.m. when the call came in for shots fired. Arriving on scene, 2 men were found dead, 20-year-old Gonzalo Gonzalez and 22-year-old Jonathan Jimenez. 7 other people were shot at the scene, including 20-year-old Cash Out Ace, who was shot in the arm and shot in the head.
Hey, bro, I would be charging an arm and a leg to them niggas. But, at the same time, all this going on, bro, I'll pass. Y'all got too much beef.
Older brother Abel was also with him and shot 4 times. Investigators would locate 7.62, 40 Smith & Wesson, and 9mm shell casings at the scene as victims were transported to local hospitals. Ace would be placed in critical condition and equipped to a breathing machine with a bullet lodged in his head. A week after the mass shooting, investigators would speak with Ace's brother Abel, who was still recovering in the hospital. Abel would tell investigators Ace set up a music video shoot, and the address was sent to only trusted friends through Instagram. Ace had issues with the rapper Widow 10K, who was the known leader of the 10K gang. Abel would then say Widow and another man named Rico 10K had been threatening Ace for some time now, and made threats earlier that day. Abel then said Widow and Rico had killed the old couple in Fallbrook. In fact, the night they were murdered, Abel received a video call from Rico around 1 in the morning. Abel stated Rico said, "Yeah, what's up? Where you at? We know you stay in Fallbrook. We know you stay on Pilot Point." Abel told investigators he used to live in Fallbrook with his grandparents, but doesn't live there anymore. When he saw Rico on the video call, he was with multiple individuals with rifles wearing ski masks. Abel would tell investigators he didn't know how they got his address, and that after the elderly couple was killed, Wedo and Rico fled to Austin, Texas for a few days to make it look like they weren't in Houston at the time of the shooting. So not only would Ace's brother give motive for Wedo to shoot up the music video, but he'd name Wedo and Rico 10K as the ones responsible in a double murder 3 months prior.
Dang.
By now, 5 were dead, and investigators would piece it all together as they'd been investigating the 10K gang for 8 months, and witnesses were rushing to come forward. 7 months after Spaz was killed, a female friend of the victim met with investigators claiming Wedo 10K and Rico 10K were responsible for killing him. But it wasn't just that. She'd provide details to the murder that hadn't been released to the public and was consistent with surveillance video that no one but investigators saw. In fact, she only knew about it because Wedo and Rico called her on FaceTime, with Rico admitting that he was the driver and Wedo saying he doubled back to get out of the vehicle and finish Spaz off.
Dang.
This was consistent with what Trenton Steele witnessed, as he saw the shooter's vehicle come back and a man get out firing into the back seat of the SUV, killing Spaz. It would also be learned that the reason Spaz and his friends were hunting for a 10K member was over an argument on Instagram Live. The investigation took a darker turn as law enforcement found out why the elderly couple was murdered. Cash Out Ace's brother Abel told investigators 10K members found out the neighborhood where his grandparents lived, but didn't know how they knew. Cell phone records would show in the hours leading up to the shooting. Wedo 10K was communicating with his dad and a T-Mobile employee. The dad allegedly texted Wedo's mom, Christina, to see if she could find an address associated with a number. Turns out, Christina previously worked at T-Mobile and reached out to a friend who was currently a manager who used her manager's login to find the address. The phone number belonged to Cash Out Ace's brother Abel and revealed his grandparents' address. Wedo and Rico were yet again trying to up the score after already killing Spaz, and while in the neighborhood of the address they were given, they spotted a purple Charger they thought belonged to Abel and followed it home. With Rico driving, Wedo opened fire. Kelvin, a member of 10K, would be arrested and would be the first to fold on 10K. He'd tell investigators they spotted the music video shoot, so he did a U-turn. Traveling past for the second time, Wedo opened fire with an AK-47, while Rico fired a pistol hanging out of the sunroof, and a third shooter named Roman Wise fired a pistol from the back seat. But that wasn't all. Kelvin was trying hard to get himself a deal, knowing just for driving he'd be facing life, if not worse. He told investigators he was there when Wedo 10K and Rico 10K saw on the news that they killed an elderly couple. But he said they weren't sad, they were happy, figuring they'd killed Abel and Cash Out Ace's grandparents. An overwhelming amount of evidence would lead to the downfall of the 10K gang, as everyone involved was arrested, and under Texas law, for capital murder, they faced death by execution. Kelvin, the driver who snitched on the rest of 10K, took a plea deal and would be sentenced to 20 years in state prison, with 3 years time served, leaving him with 17 years left. Under Texas law, he'll be eligible for parole in the next 8.5 years. Louis Santee, aka Rico 10K, took a deal for 60 years in state prison and will be eligible for parole in 30. Roman Wise would take a plea for 30 years, leaving him eligible for parole in 15. The only one left was the leader of it all, Wedo 10K. 22-year-old Wedo took a plea deal to spare him a death sentence and was sentenced to life in Texas prison. He will have to serve 40 years before being eligible for parole, meaning Wedo will be in his early 60s before even being considered for freedom. Only 17 years old when he killed Spaz, by 18, he killed a total of 5 people and showed no sympathy. In fact, Wedo never broke a smile as both pictures and videos of him incarcerated would emerge as he fought this case. A war essentially started by Cash Out would be finished by 10K, but leave both sides devastated. Cash Out Ace would have a large portion of his skull removed and speak on his recovery process as he had to learn to walk and talk again. Ace would continue on his career with his brother Abel at his side, both men surprisingly still claiming ties to the Crips and Hoover Street gang, although Abel cooperated against 10K by providing investigators information and saying they were responsible for the elderly couple's murder. Even Trent, who went on the failed hit that left Spaz dead, and started the war with 10K, would go on to become a rapper after cooperating with the police against 10K. And finally, the victims. 19-year-old Spaz was killed after the hunter became the hunted. He intended on killing a rival 10K member, only to be left behind by his friends and executed in the back of an SUV. The Reyes couple, already grieving a loss, were murdered in cold blood after a case of mistaken identity and a suburban gang war. Gonzalo Gonzalez, a 20-year-old University of Houston student that had dreams of filming movies and writing films, would die instantly while recording a music video for a rapper. 22-year-old Jonathan Jimenez, a friend of Ace, was also killed in the hail of gunfire at the music video shooting.
Wow.
In the end, everyone took a loss. Nothing came out of this but pain, suffering, and a story that will hopefully grab the attention of someone living a similar lifestyle.
Thank you.
A story that will open someone's eyes, giving them a glimpse at the road being followed. A road that leads to only prison.
Thank you.
Or death.
Thank you.
But hey, it's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking
with you too, man. 1090 Jake, man. I'm glad he be still doing these type videos, man. Like, that is sad as heck, yo. But this is what guys that be out here, street guys, gangsters, real N-words. This is cool to them. And you know what's funny? I don't know if y'all catched it. You seen the girl smile with the gun in her hand? Yo, what's all... Just think of this. That same girl with that gun in her hand, bro. When she fucking... When y'all get caught up or something happen, the majority of most of y'all, she's smiling in somebody else's face. She probably gonna smile in your Opps face now. Like, and the way that was going, she probably smiling in the Opps face now. Cause like, now the nigga that told and all that crap waited against the other gang, which I was thinking in my head like, alright, if this beef getting this heated, and they already telling and stuff, why don't other people just start telling on these guys? Like, they telling on each other. I can't do the streets, y'all. I can't do it, bro. It's not cool to me at all. And all these guys be trying to walk around looking like they cool doing this stuff. Like, where is it leading you to? You kill somebody, you get years in jail, and you been around men all year. For years. It's not cool to me. I'm good.